What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. So lately I've been telling everyone who would listen that I wasn't going to be doing any rebuilds on the teams that still have those restricted free agents left because I want to wait until those things become official. Well, we're at the point where I'm tired of waiting, and Jonathan Kuminga becomes the most interesting one so far because there's been a lot of drama, of course, behind Kuminga and, of course, between the Warriors and himself. Will he be signed and traded to Sacramento? Will he be signed and traded to Phoenix? It sounds like that's dead now. And then there's another report that the Kings, if they lift their picks, the trade's done. There's a lot of talk back and forth. And ultimately, it doesn't seem like Kuminga wants to be back. The Warriors seem to just be okay with having him back. It's very weird. It's very awkward. But let's go ahead and jump in and let's settle this once for all. And let's do this Warriors rebuild, even though their offseason is far from over because they still have a lot of moves left to do. But whatever. I'm sick of waiting. Let's jump into this. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like in this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 50,000 subs. So if you'd like to help us reach that goal by hitting the subscribe button if you're new around here, that would be awesome and greatly appreciated. We're on the road to NBA 2K26 right now, so that's going to be exciting. Hopefully, I mean, I just hope they don't ruin the game. That's my hope every year. My expectations going into new 2K every year, just don't ruin what you already have, because honestly, and not to glaze them too much because there's a lot of problems, but compared to Madden franchise mode, 2K looks so much better. It just really is. But still, I would like to see more improvements. But regardless, let's talk about the Warriors. So ultimately, apparently Jonathan Kuminga has been offered a 2-year deal with the second year being non-guaranteed, and he just doesn't want to accept that. Doesn't want to be back in the Warriors whatsoever. If he takes the qualifying offer, though, and just plays on that, he could be a restricted free agent in the offseason, or, sorry, unrestricted next year, and he'll have control of his own destiny. And then, of course, he'll have a no-trade clause, I believe, this year as well. Yeah, there's a lot that still needs to be settled here. And as you can see, if we count the amount of players on the Warriors roster right now, there's definitely only 9 players, I think. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 10, maybe 10. So 10 guys. So there has been some rumors that them and Al Horford had something agreed to. So I'm going to try to see if I can sign Horford, but I have no idea if he'll sign or will be able to sign him. Oh, that didn't go well. So Al Horford says no to my idea. So that's not going to work. I couldn't even offer to $8 million even if I wanted to. So that's not going to work. But another guy I know for a fact that they might be getting back is D'Anthony Melton. They did trade him, I believe, in the Dennis Schroeder trade. But yeah, he might actually accept this. We get D'Anthony Melton. That's one of the players I know that they're in on. But the main thing that's going to happen here is we're going to trade Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know if he's going to take the 2-year deal or if he's just going to ultimately take the qualifying offer. But in 2K, he's already taken the qualifying offer. So I guess that's what we're going to roll with. And we're going to rebuild the Warriors. There are definitely still some more moves that need to be made. They really didn't address getting a big like I thought they would this offseason. I know Warriors fans have been pretty impatient that they have done basically nothing. But with that out of the way, let's get to the rotation and let's get to the trade deadline, because I do think that is where we will ultimately trade Jonathan Kuminga. If I'm not mistaken, there could be a rule where you can't aggregate contracts with a qualifying offer player, but I don't think that's the case, so I'm just going to go with that not being the case. But as long as we're under the second apron, we can try to make some big trade at the deadline using Jonathan Kuminga. So we'll see. Proficiency, it's 4.5 perimeter centric, and here's what your rotation is looking like. So Steph, Podziemski, Jimmy, Draymond Green, Trace Jackson Davis, Kuminga, Moses Moody, D'Anthony Melton, Quentin Post, and that is going to be a rotation, which I'm totally fine with. We'll roll with that, and we'll see how this is going to go. So we're going to skip to the trade deadline. If we look at our salary cap book really quickly, we are under the second apron, so we could aggregate some contracts technically at the trade deadline. So maybe we find a way to use Kuminga and Buddy Hield's contract to trade for a big. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll see you guys at the deadline. I'm expecting this team to still be good, but obviously the Kuminga thing needs to be figured out. So as I told you guys, we are stopping the trade deadline. We're going to be selling this Jonathan Kuminga thing, and I am attaching him with Buddy Hield. I already kind of looked at some of the offers, and some of them are interesting. There's already one that's obviously been kind of talked about, is the idea of the Sacramento Kings. So those are the two teams I'm going to try to trade with. We have Quentin Grimes and Russell Westbrook. I don't think that makes a ton of sense, but let's scroll to the two trades I'm going to talk about the most. So this one was interesting too, where we get Walker Kessler. If the Jazz, I guess in theory, didn't want to pay him and they had some interest in Kuminga, maybe that's something. But let's talk about this one. So obviously it's already been discussed that the Kings do have interest in Jonathan Kuminga. And then we get Malik Monk and Keon Ellis out of this, which I think would be pretty nice to have. I'm not going to lie. So I love this trade a lot. I think both these guys would be really good pieces for us going forward. The issue I have with this is this doesn't settle our center issue that we have right now. But I can't deny that this trade would be nice, and it obviously kind of lines up with the Kings being interested in Kuminga, and they were going to trade Malik Monk. Now, Keon Ellis has been a guy they've been very attached to, so would they just throw in Keon Ellis? Probably not, but that's going to be the first one I wanted to talk about. There is the Knicks also giving us, Mitchell Robinson, which would be interesting, I guess. But let's go to the Suns offer, see if there's anything they're offering us. So, this one's interesting too. We would get Mark Williams, which is a guy that obviously is going to have to be re-signed this summer, but does give us a legitimate 5. So I do kind of like that. So I think I'm going to, maybe make something happen between one of those two teams. So would we rather have Malik Monk and Keon Ellis and figure out the center position later? Or would we rather just take Mark Williams and get our 5 of the future right now? That is a good question. I'm low-key, not going to lie, kind of leaning towards the Kings trade. I think this gives us a lot of depth going forward. Monk and Keon Ellis, 2 really good players. I like this trade a lot. I'd like to get away with not trading my first if I can. I just don't know if I'm going to... Yeah, I only have a second to offer. So we might have to trade our first low-key, which kind of sucks. But I guess if we're getting Keon Ellis in it, and was that just a 2025 liar protected? If it is, I think I actually would be okay with that. So let me see if that's what the original offer was. I'm pretty sure that's maybe what it might have been, but it could have been a different year. But if it was 2025 or I guess it's 2026, right? If it's 2026, sign me up for that. So let's go back to that offer. If that's what it is, we're going to jump on it. So Sacramento, yeah, live protected pick. That's totally fine. So as long as we make the playoffs this year, they get our pick. But hey, we made the playoffs. So we're going to make this trade happen. Keon Ellis, Malik Monk comes over to Warriors for Kuminga. Buddy Hield also goes back to Sacramento too. So that is a done deal. 29-21 currently at the trade deadline. As I mentioned, we didn't necessarily figure out the center position, I will say. But you can't deny that Keon Ellis and Malik Monk are going to be 2 really good players for us going forward. So I still like the trade regardless. I think we have to kick DeAnthony Melton out of the rotation now and give Quentin Post a minute. So, I mean, mainly we're going to be going small in the playoffs like the Warriors have usually done anyway. So Draymond Green's going to be playing a lot of 5 in the playoffs. But I like Malik Monk and Keon Ellis coming over. I think that was really nice. Okay, let's go ahead. Summate the rest of the season. The Kuminga thing is finally settled, and we'll go see how we do in the playoffs. So MVP is going to go to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Cooper Flagg is your Rookie of the Year. Collier is your 6th man. Wemby's your D point. And Trace Jackson-Davis actually wins Most Improved. So, I mean, keeping Trace Jackson-Davis and Quentin Post as like the backup 5s, I don't hate that at all. So if we eventually get a starting 5, I think this team could be pretty serious in the West, even though we kind of are already. But here is your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third team. Obviously, Steph, I thought would have made one of these, and maybe he did. I'm just not seeing him. But no Stephen Curry. Interesting. Okay. An all-defense first team and all-defensive second team. So we end up as the 16th in the West. We get to play the Dallas Mavericks. So that probably spells disaster for us. 28 points per game from Steph, 19 from Malik Monk, 16 from Jimmy Butler, 12 from Podziemski, 10 and 8 from Trace Jackson-Davis, 9 from Moody, 8 from Draymond Green, and 8 from DeAnthony Melton. Okay, so let's get into these playoffs, shall we? Let's get into the rotation because we kind of know what we're going to run here. So 50 bench utilization, and I'm cool with Malik Monk starting, obviously. Draymond Green is going to go ahead and slide down to the 5. We're probably going to slide Jimmy to the 4, and then Podziemski's probably going to play some 3, I guess. Something like that. And on Keon Ellis, maybe we'll get out there quite a bit. And yeah, so this is probably what the Warriors would run in the playoffs if I had to guess. So something along the lines of that. Maybe Quinn Post gets some run, but I think we'll just roll with this and see how far this gets us. Like I said, we're going to be playing the freaking Mavericks, so I don't know how lucky we're going to get. The Dallas Mavericks are usually pretty good. And of course, Jimmy Butler's shot tendency is an absolute disgusting joke, so let's push that up. That's why he averaged 16. But hey, playoff Jimmy's here now. Hopefully he's better. Okay, so Dallas, we all know what they look like. They got Russell, Exum. The one thing we have going for us is obviously Kyrie is still out, so that could help us in theory, but let's see what happens. So game 1 is going to go to Dallas, 103-95, 37 from Anthony Davis, 33 from Jimmy. So playoff Jimmy does arrive in game 1, but did not matter, and we're down 2-0 early on. That was both games in Dallas, so we got to find a way to hopefully win at home to tie the series, but it's not looking good at the moment. So, oh, well, maybe get back. Nah, it's dead. Okay, so we're probably going to get swept, and I'm not surprised. The Mavericks, we all know. We're aware. The playoff Mavericks, simulation Mavericks are just too good. We need to get a big in the offseason 100%. So Timberwolves and Cavaliers, and you had the Wolves beat the Cavs in 4. All right, so here are retirements. LeBron, Chris Paul. I just want to make sure like Steph doesn't randomly retire on us. I'm sure that'd be at the top if that was the case, though. It would be cool to keep Clay, or bring Clay back for another year, but probably not going to happen. He's retiring too. For the lottery, this isn't going to matter for us too much. We obviously gave our pick away, so our pick is going to be pick number 22. So that's not bad. We trade 22 for Malik Monk and Keon Ellis along with Kuminga. I think I can live with that. So let's go to draft night, and I don't think we have a pick at all anymore, but let me just double check. We do have our future draft picks, which is nice. So we have access to all of our future draft capital if we want to maybe make a move, which we probably will need to do. So let's go straight to player options. Let's see what we got going on here. So Draymond Green's team option. I didn't even realize his last year of his contract was non-guaranteed. Are we at that point, or did he get a new contract? Is this something I need to fix? I don't know. Apparently not. So, I think I probably would accept that, right? I don't think we can let Draymond Green go for nothing. Although we could re-sign him for maybe cheaper, so maybe we do that. But let's see if he's, again, I don't know if he's going to ask for cheaper money, but we're going to see if he is, basically. So we're going to extend the qualifying offers to these guys. So Draymond was asked for $27 million a year. Oh gosh, now I was asking, oh, well, so I really didn't win in this scenario. I'm going to be giving him more money, basically. I mean, unless we get him to day 12 and he signs for cheaper, that would be a win, but didn't really go the way I was hoping. Okay, now we have Stephen Curry, Malik Monk, Podziemski, which is great. We did extend Podziemski as well, although he has one more year left on his rookie contract, so still going to be making a decent amount of money, a cheap amount of money. And the only tradable contract we really have is Moses Moody. I'm not gonna lie, that's basically it. So, and I like Moses Moody, but if he can get us a big, I think we got to do it, right? So he's making $12 million, so we're gonna try to see if there's a 5 that we can throw some money at. There is like Makovich and stuff like that, but I'm looking to, you know, sign somebody a little bit better than that. So let's go see if there's a center that's making less than $12 million that we can throw, you know, some first round picks at or something, and get Stephen Curry one last run here. As much as I hate to do this, because Clint Capella by no means is not my favorite center to go for, but he is going to be our cheapest option. He's going to be making $7 million in the next 2 years. He is a legitimate 5. So Moses Moody for Capella straight up. What would they say to that? And they do agree. So yeah, that sucks. I'm not going to lie, but felt like it was kind of necessary to do. We got our new 5 and Clint Capella, who's going to be really nice to have on the Warriors. So now it is time to basically hope for, you know, get Guy Santos back, and then we can sign, it looks like, another good player potentially. So that's going to be another option we do. So who would we like to sign? Maybe a good backup point guard. Like, if Scottie Pippen wasn't totally unrealistic, I'd just go for him because he'd obviously be amazing. We do have like AJ Mitchell here and guys like that. So AJ Mitchell, I guess if he got waived on the last year of his, you know, if the Thunder needed to save some money in some way, I don't hate that. So I'm going to throw AJ Mitchell an offer, and I'm going to gamble on Draymond Green. You know, obviously I don't want to renounce him, but I do want to get him for as cheap as possible because we just declined a $27 million contract. So we're going to re-sign, we're going to get AJ Mitchell to start things off. Guy Santos, I'll give him a deal as well because we need some depth as much as possible. Okay, and then Draymond Green, let's just make sure. Okay, so he's starting to get some offers, and the Wizards are bidding on him, so we're going to have to throw him a contract, unfortunately. So I'm going to give him a 2-year deal worth a little bit more money than I would have wanted to give him, but it is going to be the #1 offer for him. So Draymond will be back, and then we'll get Quinn Post back more than likely, and let's see if there's anybody else we can sign that may be interested. We can give Isaac a minimum contract, and then we'll just get basically Quinn Post back, and that will be it. So our big addition was Clint Capella. Obviously, before that, it was, you know, wait, where's Keon Ellis? I just realized, hold the phone. Why did we not have bird rights on Keon Ellis? That was another big thing we were trying to do there. So, and I just skipped the last day of free agency. So, no bird rights on Keon Ellis at all. Jimmy Butler's down. Okay, I'm going to find a way to get Keon Ellis back because that was a very important addition to that trade as well. I forgot about him because he wasn't in the bird rights. All right, so let's go into this rotation for year number 2. This time, no offseason drama. We got out of there pretty clean. We get Clint Capella added. The only thing that is a little disappointing about this team is obviously Jimmy Butler did regress, which kind of sucked. Jimmy, or even Steph, went down a little bit. We have Stephen Curry, Podziemski, Jimmy, Draymond Green, and Clint Capella. I like that. With Malik Monk, AJ Mitchell, Keon Ellis, and Jonathan Isaac as the last player off the bench, which I don't hate that either. So the only thing we need to fix now is we probably could slide, I guess, Keon Ellis maybe even down to the 3. He'd probably go up enough that we could justify it. And yeah, he's up to an 83 overall, so let's definitely do that. So he'll go down to an 83 overall, be the 6th man off the bench, which I like. So yeah, that'll be what we're rolling with, and that'll kick. Actually, we're pretty deep, all things considered. Trace Jackson Davis, Guy Santos, off the bench in the reserve spots, but we'll see how this is about to go. And then shots in C, Steph's is still very high. Jimmy's, I do want to be somewhat high. Malik Monk's is decently high too, which is all looking good to me. Okay, 18th power rank. The goal is to ultimately go win a championship in this video. Draymond and Jimmy and Steph only have so much time, so we need to really take advantage of this short window we have. And I felt like we've done everything we possibly could to have added some talent around those guys. Nikola Jokic wins MVP, Darren Peterson Rookie of the Year, and Washington. That'd be a nasty pickup for them to add to that young team they already have. DeBanza, same thing for the Thunder if they added him. And then Wembanyama, Defensive Player, Ron Holland, Most Improved, and Jokic, Clutch Player. Coach here goes Chris Finch. And then Clark is your Executive of the Year as we went 61-21. So things went very well. Again, we do not see Steph make an All-NBA team, which... a little surprised that he's not making any All-NBA teams, unless if I'm just blind, but I'm pretty sure I didn't see him last year, and I don't see him this year either. So here's all defensive first team and all defensive second team. We do get Draymond Green, though, still making it, which is nice. And here's all rookie first team and all rookie second team. So we end up as the third seed in the West. We get to play another old team that we match up fairly well against the Clippers. So 27 from Steph, 16 from Jimmy, 16 from Malik Monk, 14 from AJ Mitchell, 11 from Podziemski, 9 and 11 from Capella, 8-6 from Draymond, 7-3 from Keon Ellis, and 4-4 from Jonathan Isaac. Okay, so like I said, this feels like a really good matchup for us because we're an old squad and so are they. So, I mean, they've gotten a little bit younger with like Dosunmu. Collins is still like 27 or something like that. 29, actually. But okay, regardless, let's go see if we have what it takes to get a first-round win here. So, game one is going to go to us, 114-79, 45 from Steph to start things off. Game two goes to them, so they get one in Golden State, but we're going to go up 2-1 and get one back in LA, so this is good. Game four goes to us. Love that. And now for game five, we will beat them in 5. Okay, so we're on to the second round. It looks like we may be playing the Mavericks, though, that they just absolutely killed us last year. So don't really know what to expect this time around, but hopefully maybe different results. So they have Kyrie back in the rotation now, so we're probably in trouble. Jeremy Grant's there too. Okay, let's just Simcast game one, because Simcast, is usually a lifeline for me. I get lucky sometimes in Simcast, but we've had the lead most of the game, and we will hang on to it. So we're going to win game one, 128-94. So good start. Now let's go get, hopefully, a game two victory and take both games in Dallas. That would be lovely, right? But it's going to probably go in their favor here, isn't it? So we're going to go back to Golden State tied. I can't be mad at that. San Francisco, rather. But I can't be mad at that. We got what we wanted done. Now it is time to take care of home court, I should say. Okay, home court, game 3. And we're starting off slow, but we do get back in the game. We're right behind their ankles, and they are... oh, wow, we stole that one at the end, even though Monk is done against the Mavericks, touch and go for a while, but we closed the deal. Okay, so what happened there at the end? So Jimmy Butler hit some free throws. Irving fouls Jimmy at the end there. Wow, very lucky, but Jimmy takes a free throw. It's always like anticlimactic when a game ends on free throws for sure. But hey, we got to take in this position. All right, so we take the first game in San Francisco. Now, can we take this one as well? It's going to be a close back and forth game 4. Do we ever take it again? And no, 113-108. Okay, big game 5. Big game 5. I think we even go 8-minute rotation for this game 5 because if we get past Dallas, we might have a chance to make it all the way. But let's focus on this game 5 first. So close game. Probably going to have to jump in. If this goes to 7, probably going to have to jump in if it's close. We're getting blown out, though, in game 5, so not a good sign. All right, game 6. This is going to be all or nothing. If we lose here, we're done for, obviously. So we need to come out swinging. We need to be backs against the wall, desperate. And we have the lead most of the game so far, but are we going to hang on to it? We're very close to letting this go. I'm scared. I'm just scared right now, I'll tell you that. All right, just hang on. We go to a game 7. We live to fight another day. Thankfully, we will. So they just stopped scoring at the end there, 97-106. We're in a game 7 with the Mavericks. Okay, game 7. Prayers up that it goes in our favor. Just don't get blown out is all I'm asking for. So first quarter, oh boy, they're basically blowing us out. So they're gonna get it done. Game 7 victory goes to the Dallas Mavericks, 101-141. Damn, that sucks. So the Hawks and Mavericks, and the Mavericks go on to beat the Hawks in 5 games. So we pushed the team that ultimately won the championship to 7. Very close, man. So close to making something happen there. So Jimmy and Draymond are both trying to call it a career. So it looks like we basically have one more season of this. Make sure, Steph isn't gone. But they're all lined up basically to be on this team one last season. So yeah, it's kind of important that we make it happen this year. I just don't know if there's really much we can do to improve. Like, I think we're gonna be over the second apron now, like 100%. But I think I'm cool with that for one more year, right? If like you're the Warriors, like, and you got one more year with Steph, Draymond, Jimmy, like, who cares, right? Pay whatever it takes, because then after that, all these guys will be gone. Yeah, I think basically our whole team is locked up. So I don't think there's gonna be much movement. We may have a draft pick because we didn't trade it, thankfully. So let's go see what we can maybe add for the future to this team, because, you know, Draymond, Steph, like, all that's about to be gone. So is there anybody that's interesting? I guess we can take this guy to take a flyer on him. 6'7" forward out of Virginia Tech. Okay. Don't know how much of a role he'll play in this video. Probably none, but it's a 70 overall. Player options, Blake Monk declined. So that is one player we will have to bring back, and AJ Mitchell will accept, obviously. Quentin Post, somebody I would, you know, have interest in bringing back too. So it does actually give us bird rights and Blake Monk, which is nice. And then Quentin Post, I'm going to sign him just in case, because obviously Capella's going to be gone after this. So no more Isaac, which is fine. I think we have enough, you know, guys that are able to play. So that's going to be it, man. Like, not much else I'm going to be able to do here. This is basically going to be your team once again, going back to back. Now, I think we are in trouble because I'm imagining the progression is going to go down, you know, downward. So don't think that's going to help us much. So yeah, Jimmy's down to an 82 overall. So I guess in theory, maybe we make a Jimmy trade at the deadline, although I'd like to. I just realized, I guess they're actually locked up for 2 more years after this. Thought I would locked him up for only 1 more season, but and Stephen Curry, yeah, has 2 years now as well. But all right, let's so I guess if they do decide not to retire next year and play the last year, we have 2 more seasons, but they already tried to retire, so who's to say they won't again? We really need to lock in, man. Wemby wins MVP. Mika wins Rookie of the Year. Debans is your 6th man. Wemby's also your depoy. And Traore is most improved in Milwaukee, up to an 83 overall. Shout out to Traore. Clutch player goes to Doncic, which we don't get to see Doncic on the freaking Bulls anymore. That is dead, obviously, now that he's on an extension in real life, so that's kind of cool. But here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third team. Again, we're not really seeing anything there, but I decided not to make any changes. Draymond because he makes all defensive teams, but no for Stephen Curry. So, hey, we run into the Clippers again, so that's nice. So here are your player stats. He had 24 from Steph, 16 from AJ Mitchell is the second leading scorer. Playoff Jimmy, we need you to wake up. 13 from Blake Monk. I mean, there's plenty of guys who can score around Stephen Curry, but obviously we don't. I wouldn't say we traditionally have a second star currently right now with the state of what Jimmy Butler's in. Okay. So Clippers, let's see what they have now. So Cameron Payne, Jalen Green, who's always a stud in the 2K sim, only making $40 million on the dot and averaging 26 points per game. Kawhi Leonard, Keegan Murray, Zubac, John Collins, Michael Porter, and Yannick. So game 1 is going to go to us. Good start. Game 2, so far so good. And we will sweep the Clippers, it looks like. Nope. Gentleman sweep, maybe? No. If we blow a 3-0 lead, I'm going to be devastated. So please don't do that. We did not just go up 3-0 to lose 4 in a row, right? Well, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. I know we didn't do that. 2K, I know we didn't do that, right? I know we didn't do that. Like, we did not just win 3 in a row to get swept or reverse swept or whatever. Please don't do this to me right now. Okay, so just take the... I'm scared as hell right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we did. We actually just went up 3-0 just to lose. Are we serious right now, dude? Why is 2K... Why do 3-0 sweeps happen? Like that, or 3-0 comebacks, I should say. Okay, so that's going to be... I'm going to try to... the odds of me coming back, I'm going to tell you right now, are extremely slim. Especially in this... Wait. I had a... Talking and playing, man. Talking and playing. I could have hit that 3 with Steph, and I could have made this game interesting, but I just timed it weird. His shot was very fast, I think, too, so that didn't help. Man, I'm just so pissed, and I think that's going to be it, basically. I don't think there's much else we can do. Like, is there really much else we can do? Because they're about to retire on us. Like, I can't force them to come back again. Steph is going to go in and out that time. We're done for, basically. We're absolutely done for. There's not much we can do. What am I supposed to do? I mean, I guess I can try 1 more year because I can, like, copy their player DNAs. Maybe I do that because they had 1 year left in their deal. And we trade Jimmy Butler with his contract. Maybe I should have done it at the deadline, but dude, we just blew a 3-0 lead, bro. Unbelievable. After we just took the Clippers went all the way to the conference finals, and they just beat the Mavericks in 5. So pretty sure we could have beaten the Mavericks, and we just didn't even get a chance. That actually irritates me. Cavs beat the Thunder in 6, and then Draymond is calling it. Is Jimmy going to call it? If Jimmy's not calling it, I think I can actually... Well, I would like to keep Draymond as well for the retirement tour, probably, but don't know. Jimmy is still here, so yeah, we can... I guess what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to... How much was Draymond Green going to make? I'm just going to copy him. I'm just going to... Well, I guess he had no years left in his contract. I thought he did. Or I guess maybe it just doesn't. No, it shows salary. So I guess he had no years left in his contract. He's calling it. I guess we'll just roll with it. No Draymond Green, but we'll try one more thing to make this video still salvageable. So we get one last chance. Do we just move on from... I guess we do just try to move on from Steve Kerr. Would Nick Nurse just accept this? He does. So we'll get Nick Nurse, and let's trade Jimmy. I think we need to start with that because he's just not good enough anymore. 26th pick, and I'll trade my 2031. Just give me the best possible player I can get in this scenario. Derek White. I prefer star somehow. I don't know if I'm going to get that, but let's try Jimmy Butler and maybe this guy. Does he have potential? Whoops, I can't. I got to get rid of... Whoops. Okay, maybe I have to build my own trade. I'm going to try to build my own trade, but we're going to try to get Steph a different star because clearly what we have is not working. So I have 3 guys I'm going to try to trade for, and the first one is going to be go big or go home. I'm going to go for Giannis Antetokounmpo, even though it's very unlikely I'm going to be able to pull this off, but they are selling and they suck, and obviously Giannis and Steph wanted to play together, so we're going to see if we can make it happen. I doubt it because we don't have... Yeah, this is not going to happen, but I'm going to try it anyway. So how much trade value you have? Not much. Okay. So Malik Monk, you're probably going to have to be in this, and then I will offer... whatever pick capital I can throw at them. So I doubt this is even going to be accepted. If it is somehow, that's crazy. Yeah, no. Okay, so that's not going to happen. That was dead before it even started. So the other one, I guess, would be Bam Adebayo, which he's not my favorite target. He's not really the scorer I'd want next to Steph, but there really isn't a better option as far as someone putting them at the power forward. We could put Cat there, I guess, too, which would be interesting. Have Cat at the 4. Not someone I trade for that often, so I could throw, but I would probably... And yeah, we'd have to have Malik Monk. I would prefer not to trade Malik Monk if I don't have to, but don't know if I'll get that lucky if we can pull something off like that. So Franz Wagner was definitely someone who caught my attention too. We would maybe get close to doing this without trading. We can do Trace Jackson Davis. Maybe I come back to that, but Franz sometimes I don't always have success with in the 2K sim. So Bam, I guess, was the guy I was kind of thinking about. So I would have to throw, yeah, I'd have to throw Trace Jackson Davis in here, I think, or even Guy Santos. So, well, I guess we don't really need 2 centers if I... Well, Bam's going to be playing the 4, so never mind. So, I guess I'm going to throw Guy Santos in here again. So, all of this for Bam. We could send Jimmy back to Miami, I just noticed too, which is kind of funny. But, yeah, we're going to get Bam Adebayo. I don't really know how much that's going to, really help, but we needed something. And it's not the score I wanted, like I said, but Jimmy was not going to be good enough anymore. So, yeah, I feel like that was kind of necessary to do. So, let's head straight to player options now. We have one last chance at this after blowing a 3-0 lead last year. So qualifying offers, AJ Mitchell, definitely going to be somebody we need to bring back. We need as much help as possible. Vic Bella, I mean, I don't want to give him this much money, but I don't think we have a choice. Like, we're not going to be able to get anybody better. So AJ Mitchell should just come back in his qualifying offer, which will be nice and very useful to have. And I think that's it. All right, we're going to go into this final season with our head held high. Forget about the 3-0 lead blown last year. Bam Adebayo, Stephen Curry, you lead the way. We'll see if something comes from it. A lot of you folks, I do think our window of winning a championship probably was, last year and the year before that. I think we're dead if I had to guess, but hey, we'll see. I mean, AJ Mitchell did average 19 points per game. We got out of the play-in, alive, then maybe we have a chance, but I just have my doubts, I'll say. So we get to play the Phoenix Suns in round 1 to get into the actual playoffs. So let's start with that, and let's see if we can avoid the Mavericks in round 1. But I guess if we do play the Mavericks, which may be possible. I don't even know who was the 2nd seed. I didn't even see. So we'll be playing. We'll see who it was. We do beat the Suns, and we get to play the Spurs, which I have not played them in today's video just yet. And I haven't looked at team stats today either. I just realized. So offensive rating, what better time than the last season, right? 15th, and then I'm assuming defense is probably no different. Or probably like middle of the pack, probably. Actually on the lower tier, but 121, pretty much middle of the pack. Okay. So, San Antonio, who just extended De'Aaron Fox, and they have Harper, Castle, Bryant, Fox off the bench, Vassell, Colin Sexton. Yeah, I mean, I have my doubts about this series, I'm going to be honest, but we're down 1-0. We even it up, so we do get 1 in San Antonio, but they're going to get 1 in Golden State, and they're up 3-1. I mean, yeah, I've come to this series very unconfident because like Steph's 40 years old now. So like I said, I think our opportunity of winning anything was last year and the year before that. We barely did not get the Mavericks there, and then unfortunately got really unlucky to have a 3-0 lead blown. I think we would have beat Dallas last year. But that is what it is. Bam Adebayo was not the saving grace. I generally don't think there was a single person other than Giannis that I could trade it for that would have changed anything. I think our window shut, unfortunately. Let me know what you guys think about the Jonathan Kuminga situation. When will it finally be settled? But other than that, I'll see you on the next one. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.